Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to the Moddly Competitive Podcast, episode 2 of hopefully many more to come. Today I'm joined by Dyson,
Hey everyone.
DJ,
Hey, what's going on, everyone?
Daniel,
Yo.
and Trenton.
What's up, guys?
And then I'm Casey. I realize we have a lot of D's in here.
Yeah, we do.
These.
Alright, in today's episode, we wanted to talk about some playtesting results, some kind of hot pickups we might be looking at for sniping some cheap singles, the PTCG Live bug apocalypse, and any of our closing miscellaneous thoughts. So to start us up, let's go into the playtesting results. I'll kick us off here. I haven't done a ton of playtesting with Paldeo, not by a lack of trying, but by a lack of platform access. But I have gotten to test out a little bit of a Regidrago list, kind of going towards a Arceus V-Star Regidrago 4-Path, 4-Iono, 4-Judge type of lockout shell. It's been pretty fun. Noivern is a really strong way to make sure that path stays in play, and then they can't do anything about it.
But Noivern's a game changer?
I don't know about game changer yet, but it's really good. I'm definitely considering its own shell. Like trying to figure out how to play Noivern on its own. Because did y'all know it has like a good first attack?
Very good.
Where it's 70 and can't be hurt by basics? There's some decks that just can't do anything about that. It's not terrible.
Instant scoop.
Like, the Chen Pao list has to basically use Braxian as an attacker.
Baxcalibur.
Or Braxcalibur as an attacker. And that's not a good position to be in.
You know, right? And there's some sweet tech cards you can play, like Poncho, to like stop the rope boss plays and just keep your Noiverns up. I really like that idea.
I've been also digging teching Gaikomo. It's the new supporter that detaches all special energies. So then your detaches a special energy from every Pokemon the opponent has. So it's not super useful against like Lugia, which is what you think it would be, but it does force them to have Earn a little bit sooner. The Mew matchup becomes way rougher if they're able to establish 1 or 2 double turbos. You just get rid of them, and then they can't play new ones once you use the Noivern attack. So I feel like there's an interesting control shell using Noivern, Gaikumo, and just like Judge path locks. Well, I guess now Iono path locks.
Right, now does that supporter, does it get rid of the Fusion Strike energies?
Yes, because it discards a special from all of my opponent's Pokemon.
Gotcha, okay. So they only play 2 Elsa Sparkles. If you play 1 or 2 of those supporters, like, you can pretty much lock them out of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Woo!
And if you go in the Arceus line as well, you can always just tutor it up for later if you already have your Judge or a Iono. Like, it's not bad.
Right, or you can even do it in like a Gardevoir shell. Be able to buddy catch that up when you need it. Like, you got the draw support. Like, there's some text. There's some text. I like it.
I think it's probably also pretty good in the Ting Lu deck, because the Fusion Strike energy shut off Ting Lu's ability. So if you can bounce those and stop their abilities from activating every time, it feels pretty good.
Yeah. So yeah, initial testing, I think I'm like 2-2 or 3-2 with the list so far. Not crazy results, but I mean it feels good. There's a lot of situations where you can just like kind of play like Goodra, where you're like just rolling iron and they can't knock out. Or there's been a lot more times where I'm actively using the Regidrago V-Star ability over the Arceus V-Star, because like doing a big mill like that has been pretty beneficial for making sure I have all of my pieces or my tech pieces, like with the Gaikumos or just finding another path or a Judge. So it's not like completely reliant on my Arceus always resolving. So it's been fun. It's not too bad. There's probably legs. I think there is something in the shell. I just need to learn how to beat the Lost Box matchup.
I mean, Lost Box attackers are almost primarily basic. You could just
It's
Noivern
not
them
bad.
out of the game.
But they usually will have some kind of like ropes or some way to pull out of that ability. Kind of like with the old Goodra lists.
Isn't there an item that lets you do 10 more damage?
I don't.
Vitality band.
I think band is
Yeah.
20
Yeah.
more for each prize you have left. 10 more.
Band is 10.
Yeah,
10
it's
flat.
just flat 10.
Right. That might be
That
something
gives you
to look into,
80.
because then when you're fighting you fight the Sableye.
That's pretty good.
You can just, yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm going to have to try
got
that.
something there.
All right, who else has got something fun they've been testing? Or not even just fun, just testing in general.
I've been trying to test out different variants of Chen Pao Excalibur. I've added the Arceus variant to it. I even tried today. I tried to add Ludicolo in there.
Mad lad. Now, are these desperation ads to try to make the deck good, or are these just because you have so much room and free wins you can do whatever you want?
Yeah, definitely that one. I don't know, I'm just trying to make it somewhat good against the mirror match. The mirror match has probably been the hardest matchup. It all really depends on that. Going first or second.
Right. Whoever establishes the Baxcalibur first is in a pretty good spot.
I was gonna say, is there ever a thought process to add paths into the list?
Yeah, maybe it's like one of path. It'd be a good tech.
You'd have to figure out a way to get rid of it, but I mean, it could help if you have to go first.
And then I've been testing Guardy too. I've been liking Guardy.
Guardy seems real solid with the Ionos and super rods.
The reversal
energy.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Just you let your opponent get that first knockout, and you just retaliate with the baby Gardevoir.
Yeah, the baby Gardevoir is so much better now. It's insane.
That's pretty much all I've.
Anyone else been doing anything fun?
Yeah, I got a pretty interesting deck, I guess you could say. So far, I've played like 20 games and I've only lost like 3. So basically, you have 4-3 Arceus V-Star line, and then you have 3-3 Fortress EX line. So turn one, you just want to get out 2 Arceus, 2 Pineco, and then on your next turn, you get your Arceus down, you pop 2 Fortress, and attach them to your Arceus. And then with your Arceus, you can get like Path plus Iono or like a Fortress if you need one. And then you just go Path, Iono. They have 2 cards, and most of the time, my opponents just can't do anything. They get like, even if they have full benches, they just can't like piece things together because I keep Ionoing them every turn.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's really fun to play. I don't know.
Yeah, I hate it, but I really like the
but I like it a
concept of
lot.
it. I wonder if you could mix in another attacker, but you probably don't even need it.
Yeah, I've been thinking about it, but
Yeah,
yeah, the
200,
Arceus is just
charge
so
up,
consistent with the Starbirth. Yeah.
Huh.
Right. Is there another V though that we could power up with the Arceus?
It has to be bulky because you can't. And one knockout would end you, right? So the whole idea is you're putting them off guard so they can't recover.
Most of the time my opponents like only get a couple hits in, and I also have like Jiren's Care too. And with if you get a third Arceus down, which is like really good, then you can just basically every time they damage one, just take one off the board.
Huh.
Yeah, that seems pretty good.
Yeah. So that's
Sounds
been
evil.
pretty fun.
I dig it.
I dig it.
There's a couple Fortress shells I've been playing around with. One of them has been with a Alolan Executor because it's a 30 times the number of energy attached snipe to anything, or running it with the current shell is 2 of those and then 3 Aggron EXs or Vs, because it's metal and 4, and if there's already damage on the Pokemon, it's like a 300 damage swing. 2 of those, 2 of the Alolan Executors, and then a 2/2 line of the Meowscarada. It's been pretty fun. It's not good, but there's been lots of like pretty efficient snipes.
Is that all in one deck?
Yeah, it's greedy. It's really greedy. But Battle VIP Pass is an insane card, so like, whatever.
Yeah, it's yeah.
But I mean, we have nest balls, we have level balls. Like we have a decent amount of way to search because none of the stuff is dependent on playing from hand. So most of it you can just tutor into play with like VIP passes and nest balls. But
it's crazy. And you also have like Ultra Balls.
And then
well.
I'm also running out Evo Senses just because I can. Or what? Not Evo Incense. What's the other one? No, just the one that coin flips. Yeah, capturing a room.
Oh, capturing a room.
Just because why not? You either find your Fortress or you find your Pine Cone.
That's funny. I just got my 4th reverse hollow battle bip today.
Oh, nice. I actually picked up.
Nice.
Yeah, well, I've got.
I was able to snag 2 foil promo or league promo Path to the Peaks.
Nice.
I have some of
Did you
those
see
as
that
well.
the VIP passes are like they're way down from where they were a couple weeks ago?
Don't tell me that.
Anyone else got anything spicy they've been doing? Or just regular testing against what they think is going to be good in the format?
I've played a single game of Tinkaton EX
Did you
15
win?
minutes ago. I mean, yeah, but my opponent really didn't do
Sounds like
anything,
Pokemon.
so it's not a great, metric for
I mean, it's undefeated. It sounds
how
like it's
good
going to
the
be
deck
BDIF.
potentially is. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. It has a 100% win rate right now, so
Tinkaton does seem interesting.
Tinkaton
It does.
suffers from the Iono problem, or the Judge problem.
Melodic, 100% solves the issue.
What does the Tinkatani X do again?
30 for each
It's
card.
30
For each card in your hand.
Okay. That's interesting.
Well, isn't it also played with Gardevoirs?
No.
No,
it's
you
its
play
own
the
deck. You play the little
baby
Tinkaton.
Tinkat. Yeah.
Baby Tinkaton. Okay. Well, still, even after a judge, discard 1, draw 3.
You can't get judged
Yeah, you
because
run-
Melodic prevents all effects of supporters done to your hand.
Gotcha. Okay.
So they have to like boss it, but you play a second one anyway. So
I wonder.
Play Rotom on your list.
yes, you do.
Interesting. Yeah,
Oh, it's
probably have
pretty
to get
fun.
more games in with it. DJ, anything fun?
Nah, I think I'll quit while I'm ahead.
Yeah, I have started my own account, and this season I probably have climbed 300 ranks with Meowscarada. Yeah, and it's the version I'm playing. It's purely Meowscarada, 4/1/4 line. The support Pokemon are the Barrel. I run 3 Mew, kind of using it like a Comfey, right? So opening turns, starting out with Mew, attach retreat, get my VIP passes, rare candies for the next turn, and it's been working out really consistently. Some of the other support Pokemon are like the Manaphy's to go against the Greninjas, and then I play 1 Yoga Loop,
Oh,
Interesting.
Metachan, right, and 1 Forest Stillstone. So yeah, there's a couple different V-Star options, right? There's I've seen versions play it with the Arceus, but in my mind I'm just like, that's another stage 1 I have to go find in the deck. It's already tough finding the Mousecaradas. And just the Metachan can set up the comeback potential plays, being able to Flower Bouquet twice, Yoga Loop on a Curlia, and then be able to mix in some Alakazam Pain Splits and set up the multiple turn prize turns.
Yeah, the Yoga Loop's like, that's a crazy attack.
Yeah, it a lot of times it sets me up in a position where I can threaten it again after the Meowscarada's second attack takes out another knockout. So being able to like against Chinpao take out their Brigibacks with a combo, and then next turn boss up their Excalibur, puts them in a position where they can't energy accelerate, and if they ever try to recover the Excalibur, again the bouquet selecting just eats those decks alive. And it's one of the decks that doesn't really care about Manaphy, and Manaphy's always just been a free prize with Yoga Loop. The deck has lost to itself. I'm just trying to figure out the best supporter
Gotcha.
lineup.
Mostly ratio
Consistency.
discovering right now.
Right now, right, because I don't play any research. I'm only playing Iono and Colress Experiment to be able to find the pieces. And keeping in mind I have Mew as a backup to go find the Ultra Balls or the Rare Candies or the VIP passes turn 1. So yeah, I mean that's what I've been playing. I really think it's a strong. I would say it's rogue right now until much better player than me figures out a better list. I've seen all kinds of lists out there, either with the Lost Box engine or not. But I really think the pure Meowscarada, because the only thing you fear is the Charizard, and that's at a low play rate right now. Even if you're getting one hit knockout against Chinpao, they blow up all their energies, and you can set up those Yoga Loop turns to cut off their energy acceleration, and then you put them in a spot where they have to fight with another attacker or two-shot you with Palkia, and being able to Pain Split and set up those multi-prize knockouts, it's been really good.
For the Medicham, do you have a way to power it up in 1 turn, or do you just have to manually attach over 2 turns?
The deck plays 4 double colorless. That's mainly what I'm using to attack with Meowscarada.
Okay. Oh, yeah, it places 2 damage counters. Never mind, I thought it just did 20 damage.
No, yeah, places 2 damage counters on it, so
That's pretty
it
good.
gets through the effects of Manaphy. I will say the tough matchup is the Mew with the Fusion Strike energies, but in that matchup, I'm looking to knock out a Mew VMAX and a Genesect and then any of the other support Pokemon like ICQ or if they play Oricorio, like the cheap, easy prizes. Because, multiple flower selections over time, you can get a Genesect down really low if you set it up right.
Sweet. Sounds like a fun list. Anyone else got anything they've been want to drop? Nope. All right. Let's go ahead and move into the hot pickups. This is the section where we just talk about the cards we've been looking at, picking up, and maybe it could be cheap buys now and not so cheap later. This is not financial advice. We're not financial advisors. We do not invest. This is a card game. This is only cardboard. With that said, I've picked up so many Fortress EX. I think that card is crazy. Also, all of the everything but Iono full art in this set is wicked cheap. I've been snagging up those as much as I can.
As soon as everybody finds out about my decks, those Fortress are going to shoot up.
Yeah, I mean, Fortress, I think, is going to take king subject of this topic, right? We've seen the effects before, but I don't think we've seen the effect paired up with such a powerful supporter like Iono to be able to put your opponent at such a disadvantage.
Milotic was legal during N, right? Like the original Milotic that would pop it so for 3?
I believe.
Yeah, and that was like a really solid core of a control shell. Granted, Pokemon were weaker back then in general, but I mean, that kind of effect is always strong.
There was also like a Let Loose Marshadow with like Jesse and James that did the same sort of effect. They got your opponent's hand really low.
Right, you got your opponent's hand low and then didn't like discard the whole hand.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, yeah. I've been tinkering around with Fortress and in my mind with playing it with the Trevenant V from, I think it's Astral Radiance. The 120 discard a card and you just, force your opponent to a top draw. And the one card in hand. And then, yeah, that straight version, you can play with Shenwu, be able to do the 60 snipe to the bench or the 220 to basic Vs and make a huge storm comeback. And if they ever try and set up a V on the bench, you can just snipe it with the Shenwu. There's some great potential there.
Yeah, I think there's, it's a pretty strong utility piece that I think is under appreciated currently. Also, I want to reiterate, so many of the full art and trainer gallery cards in this latest set are so cheap right now. Granted, they might not be great, but like Gaikumo's trainer gallery is, I don't know, $5, $6. The boss's orders is down to I think like 11 or 12 right now. They're pretty solid pickups. Like the set's pretty low in overall value outside of like Iono and Magikarp.
Magikarp just a collect card.
Yeah, it's just one of those like looks pretty big number.
Yeah, it's crazy. Even the boss's orders is like $5 or something. It's
the trainer galleries, I mean, double that, but that's like nothing.
Yeah. That's still nothing. Yeah. The EXs are like all like $1, a couple dollars, 50 cents.
Yeah,
except for like
the only real values out of the trainer gallery are big special foily stuff, which I think is great. Like collectors have their, they can chase their big Ionos and fancy stuff, and we get our, pitiful little basic normal versions that are 50 cents to $1. I'm totally cool with that. Anyone got anything else for any cool pickups they've been hoarding?
The Noivern EX is a couple bucks.
Oh yeah, that's a solid one.
Once that deck becomes like someone makes that really good, I feel like that'll be good.
Yeah, because the full art too, I think it's only like $5-6. It's super cheap. I mean, it's not a good looking one, but
did you pick up the full art?
I'm just doing the regular. I
don't
don't actually like the full art ones.
How much are the basic energies right now? The secret rare.
I don't think they're too much.
I remember seeing I remember seeing a grass energy for like $5 that was secret rare not too long ago.
Which ain't too bad.
$100 for 10 energy, 10 water energy.
Yeah. Better get your grass energy now before
they find out with the Fortress. Or Masquerada, but either of those.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. I think we're going to go ahead and move on to the PTCG Live Bug Apocalypse. If you aren't playing PTCG Live or haven't been connected to any Pokemon social media, the program is, I don't want to say a dumpster fire. It's like a trash fire. It's not great. From what I understand, a lot of the way they've programmed effects are like interlinked with other cards of similar effects in a way that they can't just fix one card and not have it affect anything. So right now we're seeing a lot of cards that, like, if they perform an ability lock of some kind and then the card that has done the lock then returns to your hand, your opponent disconnects and can no longer play the game. So I think we have like 6 cards that are currently not legal for play that will that are like tournament relevant cards, but they could just give you an auto win on ladder. Which, it's actually funny. On the previous episode, we had mentioned, or Daniel had mentioned, a bug with Penny locking him out of the game. So it was already in the game
That was the one.
a week ago. And only recently, with Spirit Tomb coming out, did everyone realize, oh, wait a minute, it's super broken.
It makes it difficult to even want to play test on live.
Yeah. I saw a post on Twitter. Let me pull it up. The TCG live devs in August and September, they have to code in 350 plus cards in a span of 42 days for Obsidian Flames and 151. And I'm just like, I'm kind of worried what's going to happen. With
it's not
all
going to
that.
go well. And I think the reason that cards have to like reference each other is part of this speed issue. Like, the cards are coming out faster than they've like created the system to accommodate for. So like they have to like, you know, copy what would be a previous one, like Mimikyu, paste, and then rename to Spiritomb and tweak an effect, like, and then like change one line, but then they're both like linked together. So then, yeah, going into one like Obsidian Flame and 151, there's no way it's going to come out where everything is working. Like, we're going to have a ton, like we have left beta, but we have not left being the beta testers, because there's no way they have any kind of like in set testing or in place like dev testing. Like, they can't.
Do you know if the bug still works with ScoopumNet and like Mimikyu, or is it only with stuff that affects?
I think it's only
in the
effects that are in
active?
the active.
Oh, yeah.
Which, because what's the other one? The fighting yeah, like I
Tinglu.
believe that one's currently not legal for play because it's part of the active.
Yep.
Yeah. As well as Klefki and
Spiritomb,
Empoleon or something maybe.
And there's one more.
Or not Empoleon.
Yeah.
It was like Gorbis or something.
No, it's Empoleon.
Empoleon's one as well.
I think Aerodactyl.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Aerodactyl is the other one. Aerodactyl V.
Yep.
Like, a relevant card for a meta deck. A lot of these are like relevant cards, which is probably why they've even been caught, because people are playing them. Like, Golurk is still broken.
Yeah, can you imagine how many?
And that's been since March.
Because it's a bad card, so no one.
I
Cares.
disagree.
Yeah, my perspective from it, you know, with a business background, looking at it from, you know, TPCI and, you know, Pokemon International, like, they have the dev teams and the developers, but it's not like their number one money maker of income. So like the support, I feel like, is minimal in that aspect, right?
Well, because there's no money is made in this program. You can't spend money on it. You can only buy packs for the physical product, which doesn't directly correlate back to this.
Yeah. I'd be perfectly fine if they added like
Yeah.
microtransactions or something. And
I'd be so
it'd make
down.
development better.
Yeah, it's like one of the few games where I'm like, you probably should have had microtransactions.
Yeah. And if it makes development better, I'm all for it.
Right, and you know,
Like, name
go ahead.
name a trading card game simulator that doesn't have
Pokemon Trading Card on Live.
Other than the Pokemon Trading Card game live.
They all the
you
successful ones do, right?
Yeah, I believe they all do.
Right, like, you know, you guys are Marvel Snap players, and that whole team is funded with the microtransactions. I'm a big, you know, I've been in, you know, Blizzard for a while, and Hearthstone is a huge paywall. Like, that set alone, when a new set comes out, I'm spending at least, at minimum, $80 to get their pre-order
Yeah, get the
bundle.
big special bundle and some number of packs.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
Right, because you need that to compete. Like, with Dust being in the format to get the new cards, you gotta do that. But they also do a great job of having like a free to play option as well. But they give you, you know, the working class the option to be able to pay quicker. That don't have as much time to invest in the game, and they're able to play competitively quicker.
Yeah, like Legend of Runeterra, I think, is a really great system for a digital platform that works great and is almost entirely free to play. Like, I got into the beta for it, and I would buy, like, at the time they would only let you buy like a limited amount of wild cards, which would be like shards in PTCG Live. And I would just buy them all, just stock them up. And eventually they removed that system because it was a limitation in place to make sure, like, once it left beta, people weren't completely outpaced. So it created a little bit of, like, there would be a skill gap, but there wouldn't be a collection gap, at least not as wide. But the game is fun. Like, you can free to play. Like, after I did that, I have never spent a penny on the game except for cosmetics, because it is so efficient in giving you access to cards and pieces and, like, their dust and their version of the wild cards and all that stuff. And then also a plethora of really nice looking cosmetics. Like, even if PTCG Live charged for their battle pass, I think the people who would buy it would help fund giving, like, an alleviated, I don't know what the right word is here. Like, it would be able to help developers, like, have more of an incentive. Like, okay, we can work the weekend, or we have a little bit more extra to get, like, hire on another developer or playtest team or something to be able to actually find and fix these issues.
Yeah, I think that'd be fine if it costed like $5 or something.
$5 or gold,
you
like, maybe you could buy gold
but...
with money, and then, like, this could be $5 or gold, so you could buy it either way. But like some way to put actual cash into the program.
Yeah, and yeah, with the battle pass, it's not like you have to buy it, but it's just
because you can't even buy it. Like, you have to, like, have accrued the resources to pick it up. You can't just go, buy $3 of, like, blurple shards and then I'll go buy the battle pass. Because I think what's really going to start hurting is we have a week lead time for the Gardevoir Temple of Sinnoh bug that's been going around, that they're like, we're going to fix it in a week. But they have not addressed when they're going to fix these other issues. So how long are these cards not going to be legal for? Like, it's crazy. Are these cards going to be banned for, like, a month? That's a month of playtesting that people can't do on PTCG Live because the cards that they're going to use in the competitive formats aren't legal.
Yeah, that's almost all the way up, like, from the new set released to, like NIC.
What about, like, late nights
that's crazy.
Or any kind of, like, non-official tournaments people are running? Like, you can't really do it through Live now.
Right, and they we just had a huge launch of their marketing team. Did you guys get a chance to watch those videos that Pokemon launched?
No, but I've heard of them. I've heard good things about them.
Right. Yeah, they did a great marketing with, like a school that incorporated, like, a Pokemon trade day. They did, another video about a family that, plays Pokemon. It's kind of been their new way of connecting. And so they did a fantastic launch on marketing, to get new player bases. Right, but if there's some places they don't have access to a local league, or they don't know about league, and when they open up those Pokemon packs and they read that, like, oh, you can play this online, right? That's like a great segue to get their people into the community base. And when the first thing you see when you log in, all these cards are banned, right? It just doesn't give a,
What if little Timmy he's like, I need to play Aerodactyl. It is my favorite Pokemon. I only care about Aerodactyl. And the little screen pops up and it goes, banned Aerodactyl. And he goes, I cannot play. And he cries and his mom has to console him. And he dunks the tablet into the toilet and it just ruins his Christmas. Like, it just doesn't seem right.
Absolutely. And, definitely I've seen lots of different platforms, talk about this concern and all types of different reasons, right? I definitely hope that, Pokemon being as large as it is, they hear their player base, right? Their marketing team, their social media team, and they got a plan in place to fix it, because, it's affected all of us.
It's very much been I wouldn't necessarily eye-opening. It's not like a huge, like, end of the world situation, but I think people can't rely on Live for playtesting, especially if we're going to continue to see prevalent bugs either just pop up out of nowhere, or a patch rolls out and then more bugs come about. I think people will need to start looking towards other avenues for playtesting, in which case one of the programs I would recommend is Tabletop Simulator. They have a Pokemon module where you can load up. It's all the current cards. It's not automated at all. You have to manually place the cards down to move them, but it is probably your best bet for actually getting substantial playtesting in a quicker time frame and without all the bugs except for human error. And I think more people are likely going to move towards that, even for stuff like coaching. because we don't have ways to turn off the timer in friendlies. So like playtesting is with a timer, which sucks because you can't really tug out your plays in a reasonable time. Then you get like 15 seconds before it starts yelling at you. So like if you don't have it now, I would highly recommend looking up Tabletop Simulator. You can get pretty cheap like Steam keys for it online, or it usually goes on sale pretty regularly.
It's solid.
That's a great resource, right? Yeah, like online access. The whole world's been connecting more and more in life online, and those resources are huge. Like I said, not everyone has access to a local league, but there are those other simulator options. So good, yeah, that's great.
All right, now we're going to move into our closing thoughts. This will be the segment for any kind of like random musings someone has had throughout the week about Pokemon, or maybe about getting into the product, or any kind of random stuff that has come up that doesn't really fit into a segmented topic. And this one might be like,
I mean,
I was going to say this might be something like, go.
Huh? Go. This might be something. Anyway, they're opening up more slots for NAIC.
Oh. For spectators or players? Interesting.
Players.
Is this due to
Tomorrow? Well,
is this due to dropouts, or is this due to?
No, they just wanted to give because like a lot of players were feeling left out and stuff, I guess. So they just Arcanine Labs worked with like the Pokemon company to try to get more slots and stuff.
So I think by the time...
So at the time of recording, that'll go live.
Yeah, I think by the time that goes up, or by the time this will go up, it'll probably be too late to register for it. But that's a pretty cool gesture on RTK Labs and PTCG, or Pokemon Company's part to actually get that accommodation in.
And you'll know next episode if we got a spot or not.
Yeah.
The UIC's this month?
Yeah, NAIC's end of the month.
30th, so we got about 10 days. It's not a lot of time to
Is
book,
Paldeo going to be
book
live
stuff,
for
but,
NAIC? Sheesh. All right. Time to get some testing in.
I'm thinking a Guardy's going to take it.
Yeah, that's probably what we're going to play.
I'm thinking Kyogre Lost Box.
I got a sleeper, Dark Horse. Like, I have a strong feeling, like, if someone could pilot a solid 60 with Zoroark, this stage 1 flipper with reversal energies, like, that can do some damage, right? The popularity of Gardevoir and Mew, the Mightyena, being able to solid hitter, and just all the other attackers that you can tech into your deck, right? I've seen versions play the Wug Trio, the flip 3 coins, mill 3 cards.
Trio.
Against like the Lost Spots decks and the Gardevoir decks that draw to their decks, and I haven't had a chance to play test it yet, but the cards are on the way, and I'm excited to play test it because stage 1s are fun.
Yeah, I personally think that I think the best deck right now, or one of the best, is Turbo Lost Box, but I don't really like the Kyogre anymore because I think with Super Rod back in the format, it's just so much easier to get back your mana fees and stuff. So I really don't like Kyogre as much anymore. I just like the Raikou, Dragonite, Drapion package a lot more.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. So I guess kind of speaking of the top decks, what do we think will be represented at NAIC? We kind of already went over some of the lists, but like, I got a feeling Lost Box, Gardevoir. Do we expect another Dark Box showing up? Probably some amount of Lugia or Mew. Like, do we think there's anything new that'll come out and be like a top 8 list?
I will be surprised if Gardevoir is not 25% of day one.
Yeah, I think Gardevoir is like really, I wouldn't say overhyped because it definitely got a lot better. But it's definitely.
Do you think the pieces it got help facilitate its current weakness of Lost Box? Or do you think it just makes it like a little more consistent?
I think it definitely.
I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know.
that's true.
The issue.
I wouldn't. Yeah, it definitely. I wouldn't say it completely solves it. Like you can still lose the matchup, but it definitely makes it a way better matchup.
I would hope to see a Lost Box Tina make the top 8.
That one's been dropped off for a bit, right? Lost Tina?
Yeah, I think it's actually a pretty good play as well because, especially with the new Jet energy, it feels a
Way
lot
more
better.
smoother.
Do Lost Tinas usually play behind on prizes? Or no, that's right. This one is just the any kind of energy for...
It's the pseudo warp energy. No, it's the warp
Oh,
energy.
right.
So it switches.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's honestly a really good play in a lot of Lost Box decks because it's just like an extra
Granted, most
switch.
Lost Box decks were
switch.
detached to retreat, so like it doesn't change necessarily some of the math.
Well, you can attach to a bench, move it to the active.
And then retreat after that. So you get your switch
Interesting.
plus attach and
Okay.
retreat.
That is pretty spicy.
Right, and then the Giratina brings the first attack into play. So you're able to get to 10 cards in Lost Zone turn 2 pretty consistently with the Jet Energy, Lost Abyss combo, and Colress. So again, against other Lost Boxes, you're Sableye first, which kind of like,
Pretty relevant.
the reason why people play Lost Zone Turbo is you're able to get to 7 first and then to 10 first. So Giratina has that, and they're playing Iono and Path in their decks as a comeback potential. So
What do we think about Chen Pao? Does anybody think that there's going to be, or like what percentage?
I
do we
think double digits.
that's
I
gonna
don't
do?
think any in top 8. I think people are going to try it because it's the new,
I'm gonna say-
new like hotness. It's the new Rain Dance deck, but I don't know if it'll necessarily convert yet, just due to the time we have between the event and now.
I think we might see one in top 8, but I don't think it's going to do like insane. Or
I'm
anything.
gonna call it now. If someone plays Qian Pao with a Pokestop engine with item cards like Cross Switchers and like double canceling clone, they could take the whole tournament. Just being able to charge up your Greninja multiple turns and using Irida to find the pieces to take out Ralts and Curlias, it's going to be, well, I guess not Curlia, but Ralts is turn 1. Being able to shut down that Manaphy combo, it's going to be hard deck to keep up with, but that's just me.
Does Cologne hit bench, or does it only hit active?
Active.
Okay.
So you have to
Yeah.
like cross switcher up Manaphy and then
Interesting.
Cologne.
Right.
But I've had it a couple times happen against me playing Lost Box, and it's a pretty good combo.
I think that Pokestop route is the way to play the Chen Pao deck.
All I'm hearing is more stadiums for Neuvern to knock away.
Hey, I can bring up the Noivern numbers.
Well, again, the Noivern just attacks with the first attack that we misread. We just read the 140, not the 70 shutdown. 80% of the meta. Right? And even against Gardevoir, you just put a path and do the 140. Like, they're pretty much locked out of the game.
Not much they can really do.
can't-
They can draw a bunch,
No.
but they ain't going to kill you.
They can't attach reversal to push up the numbers high enough.
Oh yeah, that is actually really crazy. Maybe I should put Worker back in my Gardevoir deck because I took it out just to play 3 stadiums because there's so many good stadiums to play in Gardevoir right now.
There sure
Yeah,
are.
you should play 4 stadiums. I think
Like,
4
yeah.
is the good number.
Yeah.
And all 4 of them should be Champions Festival.
No. I think 3 in a Worker might be better because the Worker can get through Noivern, and you can also
But
Palpate it back.
I guess you can't reestablish a stadium, and you still can't attach the energy, but it does allow you, or the reversal, but it still does allow you to use the Gardevoir.
What stadiums do you play in your list, Trent?
Right now I think I have 3. I have Artisan, Temple of Sinnoh, and
So you do that
Collapsed.
one split.
yeah,
Yeah.
not rich enough to have
No,
Champions
it's
Pass
just being a coward. It's just
or
being a
Festival
coward.
or whatever. Yeah,
We can't
I could
all
do
go to the
it, but-
Champions Festival.
I don't understand it. It just
Yeah.
heals 10 from all your Pokemon.
Yeah.
It gives you
works
one
with
extra energy
Gardevoir, Baby
attached.
Gardevoir.
Okay.
Because so the math is like you could
But
put
with-
down one more, but it would knock it out. So you heal 10, and you could put down one stuff with 10 HP.
Oh, you'd be at 130. Okay.
Yeah.
Right, and
So it lets you hit.
doesn't it let you also like help on the Lost Box matchup? If you team it up with Cresselia.
Yeah, it's pretty good in that as well. Being able to like clean up some of the spread damage that they've placed.
Apparently not enough, though. That matchup was pretty abysmal coming into the set. Maybe they didn't play enough Champions Festivals. Maybe they were cowards.
It's true. It's true. Peasants, every one of them.
All right. Anyone got anything else they want to share?
Artisan was a good call out. That's a fantastic stadium out how they evolve.
Oh, yeah.
It enables so many decks to be able to keep up with the format.
Yep, it's a good card.
Alrighty, thank you everyone for listening to this episode of Mildly Competitive Podcast. If you enjoyed what you saw or heard, be sure to follow us on YouTube or Spotify.